Hey, what's up everybody? This is something I haven't made a video about in a long time. And it's about lust and creativity. Now, where does lust come from, right? Because I'm a Christian, so I believe that we're made in the image of God. God has anger, God has love, God has sadness, God has almost all of our emotions. But he doesn't have fear. Because God knows everything. There's no confusion. There's no reason to fear anything. He doesn't see darkness. He can see everything, everywhere that it is. He knows exactly where it's going to be. He knows nothing can hurt him. Therefore, there is no fear. And there's obviously also no lust because God is not a sexual being. There's no need for that. If he wants to create something, he just creates it. So, lust is creative energy. What we use to create another human being comes from passion and lust that leads to sexual activity. So one of the best ways to counteract your lust, I've found, when I was struggling with it more, I don't really struggle with lust anymore, but one of the things I found was that if you be creative and you paint or you draw or you just color something or you build something, that usually counteracts it really well because sexual energy is creative energy. We use sexual energy to create human beings. That's what we do. God uses his creative energy to create human beings. So we also have that creative energy, but it's separated with the duality. One of the things that causes our duality is the separation of creativity and sexuality. We don't realize it's actually the same energy. And we can transform that sexual energy, which is sometimes negative because sometimes it's lustful, right? Sometimes it's passionate in the wrong ways. It has dark things attached to it. You can transform that into something positive and create something beautiful, something positive, and put it into the world, right? So that's what I used to do, is if I was feeling the urge to do anything sexual, that maybe it wasn't the best time to do it or whatever, I would just draw a picture. I would color something. I would build something. It would always help me, always. Like maybe you're trying to break free from an addiction to masturbation or an addiction to porn or an addiction to prostitutes or whatever you're addicted to, or escorts or whatever. And there's a difference between escorts and prostitutes, by the way, just so some information you might not have known. You take all that energy and you transform it into something positive. Now, I've found that the more you kind of steer away from your sexual energy and you don't really have an outlet, you become more obsessed with it. It becomes more and more demented. It gets darker and darker. So you need to have an outlet in order for that not to happen. And sometimes people might need to masturbate in order to release it. But you have to understand, when you're releasing that energy into the world, you are creating things, and some of those things might not be good. And because you created it, it's going to come to you. So you have to be very careful with what you put into the world, energy-wise. But another way to put things into the world is with creativity. Very cool stuff, okay? So, yeah, just create stuff. Just go and create. Because that's one of the best ways to counteract that sexual energy. Because you actually are releasing it. There is, like, us humans, we put sexuality into a lot of different things. We kind of hook it in with romance. And then once you give it the title romance, which romance is real, I'm not knocking romance, it's real. But you use it with the title romance, which has a sexual connotation to it, and then you put that on everything. You put it on all of our cultural things. Okay? Skills with doing this and that, and music and food and sunlight and all this stuff. We sexualize a lot of things in our world because that energy is creative energy. God is everywhere. God is creative energy. So if we just created and steered away from that negative sexual energy, and I'm not saying all sexual energy is negative. Sometimes there is a passionate, lovely energy that is filled with love towards a person, and you just want to experience new things with them every day. That's very positive, very uplifting, good, very exciting energy. Yeah, and it's not completely sexual, right? But then you have lust, and you have dark things that get in there, and that's not good, right? Because you connect it with money and power and numbers, and it becomes a very bad virus, right? That's a demon, basically. It's not good. So that's my advice: is anyone that's struggling with lust is to just put creativity to it. Because I just remember that's what I used to do, and if anyone else is struggling, that's what they can do to make it better. Yeah, so just some advice about how to kind of control the negative aspects of your sexuality. If you have a partner that you're with and you want to experience sexuality with them and you're married, basically married just means you're with that person. That's what the Bible says marriage is. God recognizes a couple as a marriage. Okay? It doesn't have anything to do with the ceremony. Just read the Bible and you'll see there's no ceremonies there. There's only one ceremony in the Bible. It comes after everything else, and it wasn't directly tied to a marriage. So if you're with a partner in marriage, in God's eyes, you can experience sexuality with them. Get it out of your system. But if you're single and your mind is just warping and exploring all these different things that might not be healthy, might lead to very dangerous routes, might give you experience that you don't need, that might dim your view of the world, it's better to just create something right then and there, inside your own home, and just push out all that other stuff that could have happened, right? It's better. And, yeah. So anyways, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back in the flesh. Leave a comment. Thank you. 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to start saying that after everything.